And then we got this drama over there in New York City. We got a little bit of a rules violation with Jose Caballero. So on Monday, Caballero gets in the box. Dennis Santana comes set. The umpire calls a pitch clock violation on him. He then gets Caballero to ground out and apparently blows a kiss at him. Caballero confronts him. Santana loses his cool, has to be constrained, tries to get free to fight Caballero. So a whole fight goes down, breaks down in Pittsburgh or in New York. And this is all because of Caballero is just a thorn in the side, bro. This guy, this has caused a little bit of a rule change, all because of this move. And according to MLB, this is banned now, this thing that Caballero has been doing for years. This has cemented him as the most annoying player in baseball, which is a good thing. If you know Caballero, this is what he prides himself in doing. His own manager called him an instigator. He's known for doing a bunch of Woody the Woodpecker stuff. That's according to Aaron Boone. Woody the Woodpecker. I don't know. I'm not familiar with his game, but it sounds like an annoying person or bird. I mean, because woodpeckers are always just picking away, and Caballero is just picking away. His other teammate, Will Warren, called him a pest. That's even worse than a bird. You're a pest. He's picking at you all day. Caballero's response to hearing that his teammate called him a pest, quote, "That makes me feel really good." Sick line. Guy doesn't give a fuck. So Caballero, he's just a grimy, gritty player who just takes pride in getting under his opponent's skin and doing everything possible to win. And he does everything possible to win since getting to the Yankees. And he's been there for less than a year. He's played shortstop, third base, second base, left field, right field, center field, DH. He's also pitched in his career. So he's played 8 out of 10 possible positions in his career. He does it all. He's led the league in steals twice. So he's a little slap hitting fastball guy, fast player who pisses people off. By the way, he leads his career in home runs this year. So actually, since getting to the Yankees, his power has arrived a little bit. I think he's got like 12 home runs on the year, but not usually 10 home runs on the year, which is his career high. So not really a power hitter, but this year he's doing better. He's mostly known for being a bitch, though. Not being a bitch, being an annoying bitch, being just being a pest. Is what he is. Just ask the Rays. Back when he was on the Rays, he once blatantly got hit with a pitch on purpose. This is a funny clip. Obviously on purpose. Some reason his manager sticks up for him, but like that's the kind of stuff he does. He'll do anything to get on base. It doesn't matter. I will do anything to get on base. And he tries to get on base. Umpire calls him back. Manager freaks out on him. This type of shit he gets into. In 2024, he rattled the Blue Jays pitcher so bad, he checked him after going into third. So this caused a verbal altercation. The bench is clearing. So look at this. Tags him. What the fuck, bro? What the fuck? Oh! Gets shoved in the face. Get in the pitcher's head. Pitcher's out of his game now. This is the kind of stuff he does. But he's most known for his pitch clock manipulation strategy, which he came up with all the way back in 2019. So back when they were trying the pitch clock in the minors, he was in the minor leagues, and he discovered this little trick that you could do. So according to the rules, a pitcher cannot come set until a batter is looking at him. Okay? This was established because of the Scherzer rule, which he did in 2023 once they implemented the pitch clock in the major leagues. In spring training that year, Scherzer was using this to quick pitch people. So basically he would come set before a batter was in the box, and then as soon as the batter got in the box and looked at him and acknowledged him, he would just start his motion right away. Now, in the old days, if you would have done this, this would have been not that big of a deal because the batter could just call time unlimited amount of times and it would be nerfed immediately. But now with the new pitch clock rules, you only get one timeout per at bat. So Scherzer discovered this, started quick pitching people, and then MLB had to implement the Scherzer rule, which states a pitcher cannot come set until the batter is alert to the pitcher. However, this basically means that you need to be looking at the pitcher. You don't really need to be ready to hit, but you need to be at least acknowledging the pitcher's existence. It's kind of what they say is the eye contact rule. You need to look at the pitcher. However, the batter must be alert with 8 seconds left on the pitch clock in order to give pitchers enough time. Because if you started getting ready with 1 second, pitcher will only have 1 second to pitch. So the batter must be ready and alert with 8 seconds left on the pitch clock. Caballero basically discovered that you can disrupt the pitcher's timing by getting in the box and staring at the fucking ground as long as possible and not looking up until the 8-second mark, the last possible second. And if you do this enough times, not only are you delaying the pitcher who probably wants to pitch before 8 seconds, you also, a lot of times, can bait a pitcher into coming set before the 8 seconds and before you're looking at him, and you get a pitch clock violation. A great example of this, he did it against the Astros in 2025. This is a great example of this working out perfectly. So bases are loaded, 2 outs. Pitcher comes set before he's looking at him, so he gets a warning on that, right? So umpires give him a warning. Caballero knows that he's got a warning. The next time he does this, it's a violation. So pause it right here. What he just did, so that it's bases loaded, 2 outs. He worked a full count. He knows the pitcher already has 1 violation. He knows if he gets him to do another violation, he gets to go to first base and run scores. So Caballero every single time gets in the box and he looks at the ground and does not acknowledge the pitcher till 8 seconds. What he does here is he gets in the box like early with like 13 seconds. And then, rewind it one more time. So then he gets in the box early, calls time on the pitcher. Makes him reset because he didn't get it. So now he's going to get back in the box, stares at the ground as long as possible, hoping that he's going to come set early. What does the pitcher do? Loses his vibe, comes set early, automatic ball, scores a run based on just a timeout and a staring at the ground, waiting to the last possible second. So he basically has been doing this for 3 straight seasons. He famously pissed off Garrett Cole for doing this in 2023, back before he was on the Yankees. He's facing Garrett Cole, tries to call timeout right before Cole throws a pitch. That pitch pisses off Cole, gets in the box, does not look at Cole for a while, pissing off Cole more, does it again, makes Cole wait to the last, waits to get on the mound, then calls time, keeps doing it, staring at the ground, delaying Cole. Eventually, Cole gets fucking pissed and throws a 97-mile-per-hour fastball like 30 feet over his face to give a little bit of gamesmanship, saying, yeah, bitch, I'll stall your ass too. Cole's a gamer, you know. Then ends up striking him out and wags his finger at him. So this is the famous Garrett Cole finger wag, which screams at him. Really what he does is he screams at him, calls him a you-know-what, stares him down, and then wags his finger at the dugout. Wagging at the Mariners dugout. Don't try to stall me. But that did not stop Caballero. He kept doing it. 2023, facing the Astro, does the routine while he's on the Mariners. Pitcher started his windup before Caballero was looking at him. Umpire agrees, changes the call, so it didn't count as a time. Then Martin Maldonado gets in his face about it. He's pissed. He starts talking to the catcher in the middle of the at-bat. 2 get into each other's faces, and the bench is clear. So what I'm saying is there's a bunch of little... it's not illegal, but it pisses people off. And there's a lot of examples of benches being cleared over his tactic, which is basically just to stare at the ground as long as fucking possible until he's required to in order to bait the pitcher. In April, he got the Red Sox with this. This is another, probably the best example of him really just torturing a pitcher. So play the Red Sox one. Jackie, you switch the camera over.
I'm waiting for a signal. We're off today somehow.
All right, go back to the start of the Red Sox one. So, pitcher's looking in. He comes set. Caballero's not looking at him. So, right, that's a warning. So, the pitcher gets 1 warning because Caballero wasn't looking at him. I don't know who this pitcher is, but he doesn't know the rules, apparently. So, Caballero, what he does is, again, he gets in the box, stares at the ground as long as possible. Pitcher comes set again. Now, the umpire didn't even call it. Caballero points him, hey, he did it again. So, second time's the charm. That's an automatic ball. So he gets a pitch clock violation for that. He goes, okay, yeah, I won't do that again. What does Caballero do? Same routine, does it every time. Gets in the box, stares at the fucking ground as long as possible. This pitcher, 3rd time in a row. So he gets back-to-back pitch clock violations. Caballero earns 2 straight balls by just staring at the ground as long as possible. It's funny how this really does piss off the Red Sox in this series. you saw early in the dugout shaking his head. I don't know if that's what he was shaking his head out, but later in that series, Caballero gets called himself for a pitch clock violation, tricks himself, and Wilson Contreras is seen trolling him, which is even funnier because Contreras is also famous for having a rule made after him for doing a similar thing, stalling tactics. But you can see, I don't know if we have the clip, but he's pointing at his watch. Hurry the fuck up, motherfucker. So Caballero has been doing this for years, and it's been legal the whole time until this season. There was an incident in Toronto. So this is when it really started. This is about a month ago. He's in Toronto. He's doing his thing, looking at the ground, staring at the ground as long as possible. Pitcher comes set. However, this time, instead of the pitcher getting a warning, Caballero gets the warning. So he's like, what the fuck? Why am I getting the warning? I do the same thing every time. I'm looking at the ground. It's my routine. I look at the ground until 8 seconds. If the pitcher comes set before I look at him, that should be a warning on him. It really should be a pitch clock violation on him because you're not allowed to frickin' do that. However, for the first time ever, the umpires called this on Caballero. They warned him. The official ruling on this play was that it was a delay of game penalty. However, you can see it right here. He calls it with 9 seconds left, so he wasn't required to look up. They called the delay on him because the pitcher came up. The pitcher was ready before Caballero was ready. Even though technically by the rules, he doesn't have to be ready by 8 seconds. So this becomes a little backlash. They go in the media. The media, Boone says that the league has told Caballero that he's within the rules by doing this. He just needs to make sure he's up looking by 8 seconds. But now you get to this week. So this is like a month later against the Pirates. He's doing the same shit again, staring at the ground until 8 seconds. Dennis Santana comes set before he's ready. And once again, the pitcher gets a warning. Caballero then grounds out and then gets the double play. And as we showed you earlier, blows a kiss at him. Caballero confronts him. Santana loses his cool, has to be constrained, tries to get free and fights each other. They don't really fight, but, it becomes a big hoopla. After the game, Dennis Santana, the pitcher, says that Caballero was waiting too much at home plate. It frustrated me. It's nothing against him. I got caught up in the game. You know what Caballero said to that? If you're frustrated, I'm winning. For me, it's a battle in the box. I'm trying to win the battle. If you're not concentrating 100%, I think I'm winning. So he won this motherfucker. Even though he ground out into a double play to end the inning, he's frustrating the pitcher, so he's fucking winning. However, MLB doesn't like this. So MLB took notice, and now they're cracking down on this shit. So apparently, I guess the brawl had sparked them to make a move on it. The very next day, Caballero sets up in the box, does the same routine, stares at the ground until 8 seconds. The pitcher comes set too early, as we see. But for the first time ever, even though the pitcher comes set too early, before he was looking, before 8 seconds, they call it on Caballero. And he loses his freaking shit. Umpire tries to explain it to him. Basically saying you can't do that anymore. Caballero is adamant that he is allowed to do that he's following the rules, and that the umpire is picking at him. He kept saying that. You're picking at me. Can we play the audio of the picking at me if we can pick it up? This whole thing got caught on the hot mic. Play the audio for the people at home. It's actually insane like they did this on purpose. He's picking on me. With this shoulder shrug, he's picking on me, and it kind of is picking on him a little bit because technically, according to the rule book, this should be completely legal. The umpire says after the game that he was told by MLB that Caballero is not allowed to do that anymore. He was told by the league not to warn Caballero and to call him for the violation as soon as it happened, which is what he did. So according to this, It's over. Caballero afterwards, not happy, wipes his Instagram, makes a story, says it's very easy to just invent rules and change the most beautiful sport in the world and then not take responsibility for its flaws. They know they're wrong, but it's very hard to accept that a simple player who just wants to play the sport he's always loved can adapt and use it for his game. In the end, they're the ones who are in charge and do whatever they want, whenever and however they want, and everyone else just has to shut up and obey. So, I mean, he's got a point here. So MLB says they did not make a new rule. They cite a provision in their pace of play procedures that say, quote, conduct by batters designed to deceive a pitcher into beginning their windup or coming to a set position in violation of these regulations shall be considered circumvention. So they're saying, yes, Caballero, we get it. Technically, you're looking at the pitcher at 8 seconds every time. This is your routine. Whatever. That's by the rule. That's allowed in the rules. The fact that you're doing this for the sole reason to bait a pitcher into coming set too early to get a violation, that is the problem. Unfortunately, this has completely nerfed, and ever since then, Caballero has been looking up at like 10, 12 seconds. I've been checking him out. He's taken out of his playbook, even though he maintains that he is being picked on.
On one hand, I do think he was being picked on just a little bit. On the other, I think wiping your Instagram and posting that to your story is a little dramatic.
You're picking on me.
To have, I don't like what's going through his head to like be like I've got to wipe any evidence that I play Major League Baseball on my Instagram.
Listen,
I've
because that makes the story in more impact.
Is it like when someone has a breakup and they're so heartbroken that they have to like clear everything? Is this his like breakup with baseball?
I mean, dude, it was a yeah, imagine he retires. Pulls a Yerman Mercedes. They nerfed my whole game. I was only good because I stared at the ground until 8 seconds. I was totally getting them in their heads.
And now they're just making up rules. They're ruining baseball. I've got to go off the grid.
Time to hang him up for Caballero. Now, I do say you kind of gotta feel with the league on this one. I mean, this is my thing. The reason why the pitch clock was put into place was why?
To speed up the game.
To speed up the game. The only reason these rules are there is to make the game go faster. So when you're using the rules for some other purpose, MLB has made it clear with the Scherzer, with the Contreras rule, and now with the Caballero rule, that is not the point of the rule. And as soon as you do that, we're going to find a way to nerf it. Now, we got away with it for 3 years, but after 3 years, no one's adapted enough, and they nerfed him. Sucks for Caballero, but it is what it is, man. You're going to have to find a new way. I don't believe he's been playing great lately.
He also got another play this weekend against the Phillies where Bryson Stott hit a liner, and he just kind of drops it.
Not on purpose.
Not on purpose, but the umpire claims that he dropped it on purpose. And I do think the umpires are kind of just going after him here. Like, I mean, this is an impossible play to kind of
look at this.
You think they're picking on him?
I think you're picking on me.
I do think they're picking on him.
Look, can't do nothing but laugh. Okay, whatever you say. You guys make the rules, whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want.
There's just no way you can intentionally drop that.
Yeah, that wasn't on purpose.
Because you can't control where the ball is going to land.
If you're nice with it. But no one's that nice with him. Would have been a great heads-up play if he did it on purpose. He didn't probably do it on purpose. And the umpires called him for it. Took away for double play from Cabby. What does Boone call him? I don't know.
A pest? What does he call him?
Cabby. He calls him Cabby and a pest, and he Woody the Woodpecker. But shout out to Caballero.